Hello. Welcome to the stream. How is everyone doing today? Hope everyone is having a lovely Wednesday. Welcome. You can hear bass of the music. How loud is the music? Is it loud? It's a tiny bit loud, so you might hear an echo. It's a tiny bit quiet now. Oh, I think I got it. Fabulous. Anyway, how is everyone doing today? Welcome to the stream. We are playing some Ace Attorney today. Welcome everybody. Where we're continuing with the space thing, the space case. The space case. I call it the space case because why not? Because it is a space case, and I think this is the second trial. So we had the first trial, we had the investigation, and now we're on to the second trial. So I say we should get straight to it. I tried to remember what happened. So someone got murdered. We established this. And I think we figured out that he might have been alive after he was carried from the rocket into the main lobby. I can't remember. Hopefully there's a recap. Court is now in session. All right. I suppose we should reconvene. The trial of Solomon Starbuck or something. Is this a glitch? Where the fuck is the judge? Objection! Your Honor, could you please come out from under your bench? Okay, what was that, Phoenix? I'm trying to figure out why I'm Phoenix. Oh yeah, Apollo got injured, didn't he? There are no more bombs, I promise, because of the bomb. Right. There we go. Oh yes, my apologies. I'm still a little jumpy when it comes to trials involving bombs. I think everyone is the judge. You're not the only one. You know what? We got your back, Judge. I mean, first the courtroom exploded. So we've got back to the first case, and then Mr. Tonate self-destructed. Yeah, that was pretty bad. I guess that's one way of describing what happened to Tonate. Or is it Tonate? I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, it seems that Mr. Justice was seriously wounded by Mr. Tonate's actions. Yeah, I remember now. So you, Mr. Wright, will be taking up the defense? Or do you have an understanding of what has happened in the trial so far? Yes, Your Honor. The defense is ready. Oh my god, isn't it been a while since we were Phoenix Wright? It's been, I'll tell you what. So nice to be Phoenix Wright for a bit, but it's weird to be Phoenix Wright without Maya next to me. Very well. Is the prosecution also ready? Are you ready, Magpie Head? I forgot about you. I'm so happy to forget about you, but now you're in front of me. I take it you'd like me to give the opening statement this time. Looks like the judge has become a pretty good mind reader. Oh, so for some odd reason, and we don't know why, but this case seems to have some sort of effect against Black Quill. But we don't know why. You know, he's been, normal. He's been giving opening statements. He's been, you know, he's been pushing witnesses to tell the truth, you know, that sort of thing. He's been, you know, a decent, air quotes, decent prosecutor. So we think that this might have some sort of connection of what happened to Black Quill. Oh, and we met Black Quill's sister? Yeah, sister, older sister. God, what a cunt. Well, he certainly seems seen more than his fair share of colourful prosecutors. One of which is your boyfriend, Phoenix. Come on, you could say he's something of a veteran of sorts. Let's see. In the previous part of this trial, I do like this because at least we get a recap of what happened. We learned that the victim, Clay Terran, escaped from Launchpad 1 carrying the defendant, Solomon Starbuck. Right! So originally we thought it was Solomon Starbuck that carried Clay, but no, it's the other way round. There were explosions on the second floor of the Space Center and on the rocket itself. The two astronauts used the Launchpad 1 corridor to reach the boarding lounge. And how could the victim climb down the ladder if he was carrying the defendant? He's probably, you know, Superman. That was the mystery that needed to be solved. But Mr. Justice proved that the victim was killed in the boarding lounge. Prosecutor Blackquill, were you able to discover any new facts related to this point? Very good, Judge. Very good. He's getting dominance in the courtroom, as he should. Upon further investigation, we discovered an oxygen tank fragment in the lounge. Wasn't there a fragment? No, that's a knife. There was a knife in Clay. That's how he got murdered. But yes. Surprisingly, it would appear that Justice Donner's argument was correct. So that means the testimonies of the first two people on the scene are suspect. There were two people who claimed to be the first on the scene. But can we truly trust their statements? Let's see. The two people were Detective Candace Arm. That was a detective. Is she specialised in bombs? Because she was mentioned before. She was the main victim in the first case. And Yuri Cosmos, right? Yuri Cosmos is the director of the Space Center. You think that one of them might have given a false statement to the police? Yes, it's certainly possible. We might have to do a little more digging. And just as our team was about to cross-examine Detective Arm, the courtroom bombing incident occurred, and the trial was put on hold. That would be case one. That accursed fellow. He killed my witness. He killed Detective Arm. He did. Did that explain why, though? I try to remember. He definitely put the kibosh on anyone asking her about what she saw. Exactly. In other words, the question of who killed the victim in the boarding lounge has once again become the main focus of this trial. Indeed, indeed. So we've established that Clay was actually alive and Solomon was unconscious. So Clay was the one carrying him from the launch pad to the boarding lounge. And then that's when Clay get killed by the knife inside the boarding lounge, right through his astronaut outfit, which still baffles me because the astronaut suit itself is 200 pounds, which I can imagine being very, very padded. It has to be, because you go out to space. It's crazy. It's obvious Prosecutor Blackquill still thinks it was Mr. Starbuck. Fulbright said that Blackquill has a thing against the astronaut. Nevertheless, boom. The defense argues there was a third person in the lounge, and that's who killed the victim. That was our argument, and I think that was our main source of investigation last time. Trying to figure out if there was a third person in the lounge. And I feel like this is going to be the majority of the trial. To make such reckless claims in a courtroom takes a bold man. Hang on, I just remember something. Let me just check my... Did I... Yeah, I did. Okay. No, sorry. I'm just checking my YouTube. That is fine. Fabulous. Fabulous. To make such reckless claims in a courtroom takes a bold man, or a stupid one. There is no third person in the boarding lounge. Or have you gone dotty already? Old man. You're an old man.
Objection!
We'll see who's the dotard after I trounce you with my years of experience, little boy. Jesus! I'm just a phoenix and giving off the daddy vibes. So we'll see. We'll see. Also, what's a dotard? That sounds like a slur. My apologies. In any case, Mr. Starbuck claims he saw someone leaving the lounge. The writing in this game is just phenomenal. Ah, so this is Blackwell's older sister, who could potentially have witnessed the third person in the lounge. Furthermore, a Space Center employee also saw a suspicious figure at the scene. But we're not going to say that she's Blackwell's sister in the courtroom, because that will probably piss him off. They saw a third person. I see my sister has been running her mouth. Oh, okay. He doesn't have a bird brain. That's very ironic. He dresses up as a bird while having a bird, but he's actually quite smart. Figured it all out. Okay, well, clearly you have been talking to your sister. I see my sister's been running her mouth. Yeah, she's a something. You know what, Blackwell, your sister makes you look all right. I really don't like his sister. That's right. I almost forgot that Aura is Prosecutor Blackwell's sister. Also, what kind of name is Aura? We have Simon and we have Aura. I am not going to believe that her parents called her Aura. Unless there's some sort of, in some spiritual cult. But they can't be because, they got very intelligent children. They got one who's a prosecutor and the other working for the Space Center. Well, one is intelligent, the other I'm not entirely sure. No matter, she didn't see this mystery person's face, clearly. Therefore, there is no evidence to indicate that this person was not the defendant. I guess the possibility that the figure was Mr. Starbuck is still there. That's true. And you said it without freaking out. Phoenix, we miss you. Remember the time when you were 18 years old and you freak out at every little thing that goes against your claims? I was like, oh my god, wait, the fact that Starbucks Solomon might still be a possibility. Oh my god. But then again, there is actually a guy called Starbucks. In brief, we need to determine if a third person was there or not. Like we could talk about the writing, but the naming of the characters is a bit, Like all the other names is fine. You have, because in Phoenix, right, you have Maya and Mia, haven't you? And you have Miles. Very, very nice names, but also very memorable names. They are memorable characters. So you have Francesca. You have someone else as well. But Phoenix Wright, obviously the most iconic name, iconic person throughout the entire Ace Attorney games. Which is fair enough. But then you come into this game, and it's like, well, first off, Simon. Simon is a normal name. I love the name Simon. I think it's a fantastic name. But then you have Aura. You have like names after gods. Why? I don't know. I mean, that's pretty cool, but I wouldn't call my son Zeus or anything. I feel like that would be a little bit offensive. But then you have, what's it? Starbucks. Oh, and Clay. Is Clay even a name? That's the second time I've heard Clay as a name. The other one being Subject 16 from Assassin's Creed. And no one gives a flying fuck about him. You just do one DLC with him, which was shit, and then, oh, well, fuck, he died. There we go. Sorry to anyone whose name is Clay. In brief, we need to determine if a third person was there or not. To this end, we should hear the testimony of one of the first people on the scene. Director Cosmos, huh? Oh yeah, he said he'll be a witness. Ugh. Very well. Bailiff, please bring the witness to the stand. What voice? Oh, yes. What a stash. Why, I believe I've seen you before in the newspapers. Of course you have. Of course you have. For I am Yuri Cosmos. I can imagine him just turning to the side and the camera just pan close to his face when he says, Yuri Cosmos, director of the Cosmos Space Center, which was, of course, named after me, Yuri Cosmos. Don't you have anything you wish to ask me? We have many things to ask you, Cosmos. You're the witness. We're cross-examining you, my dude.
Looks like he's all geared up to do some bragging.
7 years ago, I successfully launched the HAT-1 and... Everyone already knows how brilliant you are. We do. We do. Do I know how brilliant he is? That's the question. I don't know if he's brilliant or not. He seems to be all talk at the moment. Even I am trying to hold back my tears at seeing such a great man standing before me. So could you please proceed directly to your important testimony? Yes, just crack on, Cosmos. We don't have all day. Ah! I see this fine young lad has a proper appreciation for greatness. Then allow me to begin my epochal testimony that will be recorded in the annals of history. Oh, I'm sure it'll be recorded in history, but not in the way that you think.
That speech of Prosecutor Blackwell's just now sounded more to me like he was poking fun at Director Cosmos.
No, because he was, Athena. He was. Look, you're named after the goddess of wisdom, a girl. At least be a little bit wise. How about girl? Switch on! You're the goddess of wisdom. Switch on. Come on. We know Blackwell is poking fun at him. It's probably for the best that it's sailed right over the director's head. Yeah, otherwise he's gonna fucking go off, isn't he? Now the Director Cosmos, the condensed version of your illustrious testimony, please. Right, we're going straight to the bottom of this. Let's go. Oh, this is going to be an absolute pain, isn't it? He's going to say a bunch of word salad. And we probably won't have anything that could relate to contradicting his statement unless it's something really, really obscure. Detective Arm and I rushed towards the boarding lounge together. Oh, okay, we're very direct. Okay. We went by the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside. Okay. We saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge and Terran lying on the floor. Oh. I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck. I see. So in your testimony, you claim you arrived on the scene after the two had escaped from the launch pad to the lounge, and just after the victim had been killed. Oh, the horror, the humanity! But what I said is what I saw, and what I saw is what I said. Yes, Cosmos, a courageous act to take in the face of such terrifying explosions, won't you say? To save my men, I went personally into the epicenter of danger. Risking my own life for theirs. Ha 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 ha.
Well, what do you know? It sounds like the director really cares about his men.
I need to see it to believe it. And I don't think I'm going to see it. Yeah, although it sounds more like he was scared, I just had to peek from afar. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is the device ready to cross-examine the witness? Oh, if I must, I guess I don't have a choice, do I? Yes, Your Honor. Director Cosmos' testimony is pretty vague. I'm going to have to press him and draw out more information before I do anything else. That's a good idea. Well, that's what I was going to do anyway. Detective Arm and I rushed towards the boarding lounge together.
Hold it!
Hold it! Oh, Phoenix, I missed your hold it. Is that who I think it is? I know he was Phoenix Wright at some point, but I can't remember which. You. Are you the Phoenix Wright that I have just heard? Where are you? No, these are animus. Where's the games? God, he's done so much. Where are the games? The games! There's the games. I know he's Teddy in Persona 4 Golden. I was thinking of playing that actually. Fuck! This is it! Wait. This is 2024 though. Let's see if he's in the remake. Oh, I didn't know he was Sweet Talker in Dispatch. Okay. He wasn't in the remake? Apollo Justice Trilogy? Unless they brought in, I don't know, but he was in this is Dual Destinies in 2013, but I don't know if he's in the remake, but it does sound a bit like him. And I'm talking about Sam Riegel, unless you guys can confirm that it is actually Sam Riegel. Where were you coming from? The 6th floor. We were making sure any stragglers made their way to the 4th floor. It was then we heard about Starbuck and Terran and hurried to the 3rd floor lounge. From the control panel? On my galactic scooter here, of course. From the control panel. I try to remember the room. There is the lift. There were lifts, of course. Why do you keep calling it galactic? Does it have something to do with space? Of course! It's specifically designed to be used on galactic battleships. I see. Then I take it works in 0G too? Sadly, no. With the current state of technology as it is, I'm afraid it would just float about and be galactically useless. Oh, okay. Well, that's a galactic bummer. I see. So you rushed to the boarding lounge on your space-age pogo stick. And when you got to the scene, what did you see? We went by the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside. From the 4th... So you went down the lift and while all of that is happening, you decided to go into the control room. But... What?
Hold it!
No, that doesn't make any sense. I can't... Now I'm just confused. Let's see. According to this diagram... You didn't have to go through the control room to get to the boarding lounge. Oh, here we go. 3F elevators. Yeah, that's what I thought. You could just go one of them. We saw 2 of these. No, we saw the entire thing. It looks like you could have gone there from the southern corridor as well. Yes, but in her haste, Detective Arm rushed ahead of me towards the control room. All I could do was merely follow behind her. I see. So we peeked into the boarding lounge from the control room door and... Okay. The plan helped. We saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge and Terran lying on the floor.
Hold it!
So you couldn't see who that figure was, clearly, or what they were doing? Sadly, the only thing I could tell was that it was a person standing motionless. Motionless. That could be the key. That could be the key. Am I talking? Okay, I am talking. I'm never entirely sure. The defendant, no doubt, staring aghast at his deed. What other explanation is there? I'm so close, but without evidence I can't prove that person's the third party. Yeah, I don't think we were... I don't relish in this, and... I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck.
Hold it!
But can you prove it? Orba Blackquill also saw a suspicious figure in the lounge. But she gave the statement that it was too dark to see the person's face clearly. Yeah, so this is Simon Blackwill's little sister, older sister. Which is crazy, actually. Did you see this figure's face clearly? No, not clearly. The lighter they were holding illuminated the area around their feet at the time. Okay, so we've established that this person has a lighter. We know that. But other than that, I could see little else. That's why I could see Terran, but I couldn't see who the other person was. So for all you know, it might not have been Mr. Starbuck. Isn't that correct? I would like to believe that. Starbuck isn't the type of man who's capable of murder.
Objection!
Objection! When the witness entered the boarding lounge, there was no third person there. Who was the witness? Isn't that correct? Great Space Center Director. Yes, that's right. Only Starbuck and Terran were there by that time. And you? After we peeked in, the lounge suddenly went dark and the figure vanished. You mean they disappeared? That's odd.
Objection!
The reason the figure appeared to vanish is because it was the defendant. When the witnesses weren't looking, he fell to the floor and feigned unconsciousness.
Hold it!
Hold it! Hold on, Director Cosmos, did you ever take your eyes off of the scene? Just for a brief instant, about as long as it takes for a shooting star to go by. So probably about, what, a second? If you took your eyes off the scene, then this third person could have escaped during that time. What, for a second? But what escape route could this person have used? The direction opposite the control room, the southern door to the elevators. There's no security lock on that door, so it would have been possible to escape that way. Yes! Hi, Soquid! No, you're right! Ah, I forgot to change it! Thank you, Soquid, for letting me know. I'll do that now. Ah, damn it. No. How you doing, Soquid? It's this one. Yeah. There you go. That's better. Thank you. I'm doing good. How are you? I hope you're doing good as well.
Objection!
All things are possible, right? Don't know. All things are possible. Yeah, like murder. Murder is always a possibility, isn't it, Blackquill? We know that. We know that. Otherwise, we wouldn't have our jobs. But Blackquill, this is kind of, you know, someone disappeared in about a second as Cosmos looked away. It's a bit suspicious, right? The real question is, do you have any proof? Do you have any proof? Does he have any proof? Why am I
I the one who always have to provide proof? Well, I have your proof right here, Black Quill. Go and steal Rolexes from rich people, Magpie Head. An inmate who used to be a university professor, a lunar researcher, used to I don't care about your inmate. I don't care if he used to be a university professor. He was probably someone who killed children. I don't fucking care. Why are we listening to him? That there is a kingdom of little green men who live under the surface of the moon. What does that mean? What does that mean? There is a kingdom of little green men who live under the surface of the moon. I was going to say something, but that would be, I think that might be offensive, but what? As long as they don't punish us in the name of said moon for what we've done to it. Who's the little green man? Oh, the aliens. But I say, where's your proof that this quaint kingdom exists? Oh, he's thinking that... Oh, he thinks we're make-believe. Oh. Oh, see, this is why I don't like Black Quill. He's calling a theory a work of fiction, but no, I just gathered that, Athena. Thank you. I see your goddess of wisdom powers is starting to come fold. And he's right, I don't have any proof yet. Still. The southern door was a possible escape route. I'd better make a mental note of that. Director Cosmos, may I ask you a question? Yes. Why did you look away from the boarding lounge? Good question. Ah! There's actually another tale of bravery behind the answer to that. Really? You know what would be an act of bravery, my dude? Stop the third figure and actually see who he is. It was when Detective Arms saw the figure raised a gun. Being a great humanitarian and protector of mankind, I tried to stop her. You tried to get the detective to stop the person who might have murdered Clay. Sorry, I needed to chug my tea after all that. What the fuck? What? You say Detective Arm raised her gun as soon as she saw the figure? I imagine her instincts as the detective told her they were the killer. I mean, she probably has, like, you know, experience. I don't know about that. And were you able to prevent Detective Arm from firing her gun? Ooh, Phoenix might be saying she didn't raise her gun. I'm afraid it was too late. I was unable to stop her. So she did shoot him. Or her, or they. She identified herself clearly, and then she fired 2 warning shots at the shadowy figure. This information about Detective Arm's actions sounds critically important. And the problem is she's not alive to tell us exactly what happened. So... Right. She was killed in the first case. Please add it to your testimony. Yes. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots at the figure. We need more information about that. Okay, so I have a couple of questions. So for one thing, if she feels a threat, so she would raise a gun at someone who she potentially sees a killer, right? Why would he stop her and have him try to protect, you know, possibly a murderer? Second of all, is Detective Arm raising a gun spontaneously a thing that she would do? I think that's what Phoenix Wright and the judge was questioning. We don't know Detective Arm. We've never met her. We only saw her as a victim. But based on, you know, you know, just judging a book by her cover, she seems like a very intelligent woman. I don't think that she would take her gun out and shoot a random shadowed figure spontaneously. So I think that's why Phoenix is questioning it. So, we'll press.
Hold it!
And neither of these two shots hit the culprit. Ah, we did see a bullet hole on the screen. That is correct. The detective appears to have missed on purpose. That would explain more. But why would she do that? But did she really? There's something about this that bothers me. So Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, did she? That's the first time that info has come out. Wonder if I can find any inconsistencies. So, ooh, that's... So, it ends immediately after this scene. Right, so this is the scene. Was wrapped with 0%. At 80% remaining, altitude is displayed on there. So this is the bullet hole discovered in a gutter that runs along the south wall of the boarding lounge. It was fired from a .10 caliber handgun. So it could either be these two. This was found in the gutter. So the bullet... Oh, this doesn't show it. Where's the other map? Do I not have... Oh, it's this one. So the gutter is around here. And the bullet hole is here. But she is shooting from here. I'm not sure about that one, Chief. I think we need to show that bullet. Let's present this bullet to him and see what he says. A .10 caliber handgun. Do we know what kind of gun she got?
Objection!
This piece of evidence... Oh, come on! How is that not it? What? It's a bullet! It's a bullet! It's a bullet! How does that not work? It must be the bullet hole then. I didn't realise that you would actually... It was that specific. It was found in the boarding lounge. The bullet itself is missing, but this is the bullet. Right? Hi, Gloopy. How you doing? Glad to hear your cats are doing terrific. My fiance's doing well. Thank you for asking.
Objection!
Okay, so it is a bullet hole. I know it sounds obvious, but it's like... Both of them are strange that could contradict his statement. One of them was in a gutter. Are you sure you were really paying attention to what Detective Arm was doing? Jeez! Jesus! I wasn't expecting a tantrum from him. You doubt my words, words that will someday be written down in history books. Why does he have no pupils? Rah, rah, rah. That's it. You royal little tiny scooter. Somehow, I don't think that those exact words will ever be written down in any history books. Mr. Wright, could you please explain yourself so that we can all understand? Yes, thank you, Judge. You say that Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots. And yet, only 1 bullet hole was ever found at the scene. Ashima said thank you for making your day better. Oh, bless. That's always very nice to hear. That's always very... That's always very nice to hear. It's always good to get some sort of appreciation as well. Only one bullet hole means the gun was only fired once. And yet Director Cosmos is saying Detective Arm fired 2 shots. Okay, no editor would allow such a glaring contradiction into a history book.
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, the witness's words are true. We confirm that 2 shots were fired from Detective Arms' gun.
Objection!
Yeah. Oh, that is Sam Eagle. I think I can hear him. But there is only 1 bullet hole at the scene. Where did the other bullet hole vanish to? Oh, wait. Are you saying the person might be shot? You should know the answer to that already. The person was shot! The 3rd person was shot! I should? Phoenix! Come on! I'm stupid. I figured it out. Oh. I thought it might be the person, and we would be like, oh my god, you must have a bullet hole. A bullet hole claims that you are the murderer. Oh my god. During the previous trial, a certain oxygen tank was presented as evidence. We've already discussed that it was ruptured in the lounge, have we not? Well, it appears that the thing that ruptured it was a bullet. A bullet that was found near the tank, to be precise. This bullet was fired from a .38 caliber gun, the same caliber as a detective's gun. That's why the bullet that we showed before didn't work, because it's from a .10 caliber gun. So who had a .10 caliber gun? What? Ah, the victim's oxygen tank was struck by a bullet. And now, okay, that'll explain why it's 0%. The rifling marks also match up. There's no question that the bullet was fired from Detective Arm's gun. And it was fired from .38 caliber handgun. But the other bullet is from a completely different gun. I'm so confused. Rifling marks. They're like a gun's fingerprints on the bullet, correct? I think we've already established that, Judge, but yes. And examining the rifling marks on the bullet can tell us the gun it was fired from. One of the bullets the detective fired found its way into the holographic image display. The other bullet came to a stop near the victim's oxygen tank. The evidence confirms the director's statement that the detective fired 2 shots. My beautiful contradiction. Oh, God. Now, come on, Phoenix. Get a grip. You've dealt with this before. You were contradicting against an evil spirit once, for fuck's sake. So that bullet hole was from a .38 caliber, huh? You can go against an old, an old narcissistic idiot and a magpie. You can do it, Phoenix. We have faith. Apollo has faith, even though he's probably unconscious. I better update the record. Oh, no, he wasn't he's not unconscious. He's just resting, I think. Okay. Very good. Now we know the fate of both of the shots Detective Arm fired. Mr. Wright, does that clear up all of your questions? Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots. One hit the holographic display and the other hit the oxygen tank. Does that really clear up everything about what happened at the scene? No. What about the bullet we found? No, Your Honor, it doesn't. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots from a .38 caliber gun, but that doesn't explain the existence of a certain piece of evidence found at the scene. A piece that points to the existence of a 3rd person. The bullet from a .10 caliber gun. Oh, very well, but it won't do to keep us waiting. Mr. Wright, what piece of evidence suggests the possibility of a 3rd person at the scene? This is from a .10 caliber handgun.
Take that!
And what is this metal pellet supposed to be? Just a little something of great importance we found at the crime scene, Your Honor. You found it where? In a floor gutter at the crime scene. It looks like the police and prosecution both missed it. Furthermore, this is a .10 caliber bullet, making it much smaller than one of Detective Arms' .38 calibers. That means... Yes, exactly. One more person must have been there in the lounge. A third person who had a gun that could fire .10 caliber bullets. And if that's true, it explains why Detective Arm fired warning shots. This third person fired at Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun. And in return, the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos? Looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. The mystery person fired upon us. Well, what's this now? You couldn't explain that before? My good God. What? You never breathed a word of any of this to me before. Well, all great men have a secret or two, don't you know? That's foolish old geezer, yup. So Director Cosmos really has been hiding the presence of a third person all along. Director Cosmos, I want you to testify to the court about what you really saw. Yeah, damn right. No more secrets. No more lying. I mean, he's not really lying. He's just being an idiot. He just over-exaggerates everything. Could that count as lying? I'm not entirely sure. You may be a very great man, but in my courtroom, you are just another witness. You won't receive special treatment here. Now, please give accurate testimony. What I really saw at the scene. Detective Arm and I rushed to the control room together. In the lounge, we saw a figure standing in the middle of the room and Terran on the floor. We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us. Given that there was no third person in the lounge when the witness entered it, does this mean the person who fired the gun had to have been the defendant? And also, if we're going to go into the control room, will we find the bullet that's from a .10 caliber? You know, because we haven't investigated the control room. We couldn't, because it's heavily secured. Not necessarily. It's still possible that it was someone else. Most likely, as soon as Detective Arm and Director Cosmos discovered this person, they escaped through the southern door, the one that didn't have a security lock.
Objection!
Double-edged swords are a tricky lot. Mishandle one and it is you who is cut down. Huh? Your reasoning could apply if Spaceboy were the killer as well. Think about it. After being discovered, he could have fired a .10 caliber gun. Detective Arm would have responded by firing 2 warning shots. What I failed to understand is that why was the bullet found in the gutter in the south? That's what I want to know. All he had to do was feign unconsciousness to invent the possibility of a third person.
Objection!
But Mr. Starbuck didn't have a gun in his possession when he was found by police, nor has a gun been found at the crime scene. Its absence can only be explained if there was a third party who took it with them.
Objection!
Recall the existence of a trash chute in the boarding lounge. The defendant could have simply thrown the gun down the chute. I mean, he could have. You're right, yes.
Objection!
But you can't deny the possibility of a third person leaving with a weapon.
Objection!
So many objections! It's up to you to prove that possibility. And I trust you haven't forgotten my little piece of decisive evidence. What evidence? Why, the detonator switch that was found in Mr. Starbucks' pocket, naturally. Yeah, now it's coming back to me, yeah. The most compelling evidence of all that tells us he is the culprit. Ah! I did forget all about that. Look, your boldness, how deliciously obvious it is that they lack the evidence to rival mine. Wow, he sliced our third-person theory to ribbons and served it to us, just like that. Yes, well, I have a question of my own, actually. That bullet that the mysterious figure shot, what did it hit exactly? Good. Good question, Judge. It hit... Oh, it hit you? Hit me. Oh, So does that mean you're a ghost? No, Judge. I was wondering when you would realize it, your boldness. Director Cosmos is an authentic, bona fide ghost. He can even pass through walls. Eek!
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, shame on you for teasing a nice old gentleman. Give him a slap. Your boldness, it was all in jest. Please show yourself again. Yeah, come on, Judge. Are you sure? In that case, how did you manage to survive being shot, Director Cosmos? I'm glad you asked. It was a miracle befitting a great history-making figure such as myself. The bullet hit my glorious Medal of Honor, whereby it ricocheted, thus saving my life. I suppose that would explain why it was in the gutter. What? That's unbelievable. I have to check this out. Oh, wow. Look at that. There's one extra Gyaxa star. That's it. That's the bullet hole. Fucking hell. The odds are literally astronomical. I guess it really was a miracle. It's beginning to really feel like the cosmos is watching out for Director Cosmos. See what you did there. But why did you conceal this information, Director Cosmos? A great man such as myself has to hide things on occasion, no matter how much it hurts. It is the plight of the truly great. It may be hard for this generation to understand. I don't know, but it sounds fishy to me. What else is he hiding? Oh my god, he's probably hiding many things. He's probably going to tell us that the scooter he's riding is not a scooter at all. Let's just cross-examine him and see what we can find out. Now then, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, sir. Well, I really saw at the scene. Detective Arm and I rushed to the control room together. Luckily, it's only 3 statements, so that's fine. We've already heard all about that part. Don't you have any new information? Well, let me see. If you have an hour or two, I could tell you all about the Hat One Miracle. We already know all about that too. Tell us about something related to this incident. I see. You want to know about incidents. Well then, let me tell you about the many incidents that made me the man I am today. Yes, if you have the time, I will tell you all about the upbringing of this great man. No, thank you. We're okay. Thank you so much, kind sir. Bye-bye. You've told us all about that already as well. What we need now is your testimony. Maybe we should just move on. Did I really already tell you all about my upbringing? I don't recall doing so. Thank you, Judge. Director Cosmos, perhaps you could save your boastful tales for later, if I must. Well, we peeked in through the control room door and... in the lounge, we saw a figure standing in the middle of the room and tearing on the floor.
Hold it!
But it was so dark you couldn't see this figure's face, isn't that right? Yes, the room was as deep and dark as outer space itself. Speaking of outer space, during the Hat 1 launch 7 years ago... No, stop. If it's about that Hat 1 miracle again, you can sod off and tell it to a stray mutt. For once I agree with Black Quill. Excellent idea. No reason why the animal world shouldn't hear my greatness. And there's no way, there's no bringing this guy down, is there? And so they shall. But first your testimony. What happened next? We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us.
Hold it!
So in other words, you were fired at while you were at the control room door. That is correct. There's something not quite right about that. Director Cosmos, the bullet this person fired hit you. Isn't that right? Yes, it was a miracle befitting a great history-making figure such as myself. I mean, to be fair, getting saved by your medal, by a bullet, and it made a star on the an extra star on the medal as well. That's fucking impressive. The bullet the figure fired hit me while I was in the control room, but as the cosmos would have it, the bullet bounced off my glorious Medal of Honor. It bounced all the way to the other side of the lounge. In that case, the bullet should have wound up somewhere around the control room door. Okay, so Director Cosmos was in the control room to the east. And while he was there, he was shot at by someone with a .10 caliber gun. But the bullet hit his medal, so he was able to escape with his life. He's a very lucky man. No wonder people think he's great. Hey, I'm pretty lucky myself. So if he's a great man, then I'm king of all the cosmos. There's something not quite right. Let me have a look. Along the south wall to the boarding lounge. Wait, the perp held a lighter with an earth emblem on it in their left hand and a knife in their right hand. How could he hold a gun? That doesn't make any sense.
Objection!
Oh, come on! How could he hold a gun? No, how could he hold a gun if he's holding a lighter one hand and a knife on the other? Oh no, we were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us. No, but the bullet was found in the south.
Objection!
Oh, I did had to press that one. Okay. I always seem to be doing that. Director Cosmos, I believe you are telling this great court a glorious lie. A great man like me tell a lie? Have you ever heard of such a thing in all of history? My accusation is based on the positions of the people who were in the lounge. According to your testimony, you and Detective Arm were near the control room door. And the mystery figure was standing in the middle of the boarding lounge. If, as you say, the figure fired a gun at you from this position, then the bullet would have travelled in this direction. However, we found the .10 caliber bullet here, which is like right opposite. Oh! Yeah, oh. This trajectory and where the bullet was actually found contradict each other. Director Cosmos, where were you really when you were being shot at? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the human merry-go-round.
Objection!
Go wee! Don't tell me you've forgotten already. Didn't the witness himself just tell you? The bullet hit his middle. Of this, there is no mistake.
Objection!
But it can't ricochet all the way to the other side. But in that case, the bullet should have been found near the east side of the room. Are you trying to say that you can explain this inconsistency? Of course. I didn't think... What? Oh, great Director Cosmos. Yes? Is there something you'd like me to expound on? You were in fact not in the control room to the east, were you? You were looking into the lounge from the door to the south. Is that not right? What are you getting at? Can I see the map? Let me see the map so I can get a visual aspect. Oh, unless they're going to go onto the map right now. Use your own brain. Your head must have some use other than housing that bird's nest. Bird's nest? Why does everyone pick up my hair? Okay, here we go. Director Cosmos and the detective visits the scene from the southern door. The killer fired at them there, and that is why the bullet was found in the south. Ah, that makes some sense actually, but what doesn't make sense is why does he keep saying he's seen it from the control panel? Also, the witness of being at the southern door is rather favorable for the prosecution. Huh? Why? I've got a bad feeling about this. How about it, Director, if you don't tell the truth this time? Yikes! His handcuffs! Yeah, you will become but rust upon my sword. I relish the chance to cut down a great man. Alright, I'll tell the truth. Just put your sword away. You are correct. I, the great Yuri Cosmos, was looking into the room from the southern door. What? That's the complete opposite of all the testimonies given so far. So he has two places the third person can escape from. To the launch pad or to the control room. And now you have lost your possibility that a third person was in the room. I have? How? Yeah, how? The director and the detective were near the southern door. Meaning the killer couldn't have escaped through there. The western door required print recognition. The corridor beyond was filled with smoke. The only escape route left was the eastern control room door. And the only way to get through there was with Director Cosmos's fingerprints. In short, there would be no escape for any third person had there been one, unless he went hiding. You'll come up. My third person just disappeared like in one of Trucy's magic tricks. Come on. Phoenix, right, you've got this. We got this, dude. We got this. Order in the court. Director Cosmos, why did you tell such an outrageous lie? True. Why? That's a very good question. You were covering for the defendant. Isn't that right? Yes, it was all for the love of my men. If I said I was in the eastern control room, it would mean the culprit would have escaped through the southern door.
What you playing?
Ace Attorney.
Fun!
Yeah.
Any more strange women in boxes?
No.
Okay,
No, this is all about the Space Center.
that's good.
Yeah.
Love you.
Love you too. It would have meant that there could have been a third person. All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person. What a convoluted lie. Was he really covering for the defendant? Ooh, that's also a very good question. It looks like we've come to a conclusion. That the defense's argument, the possibility of a third person, has crumbled. No! It's over. Yikes. The judge is about to hand down his verdict. Think, Phoenix. Think! This is the perfect time to try and turn my thinking around. If the third person had no way of escaping the scene, then what if one of the people at the scene was this third person? Wait, what if the whole premise is all wrong? Director Cosmos said that he and Detective Arm rushed to the scene together. But what if that premise isn't true? What if one of them reached the scene before the other one? And if that person entered the lounge, then they would be the third person. The defendant is the only one who could have killed the victim and shot at the director. There doesn't appear to be any room for argument against these claims. I will now render my verdict.
Objection!
So, is he saying Cosmos is the third person? Wait, have I said that? I don't think I said that. Please wait, Your Honor. There is still one possibility. Oh, this had better be good, Mr. Wright. There is one and only one person who could have escaped from the scene. And that person would be the first person who arrived on the scene. Then, upon entering the boarding lounge, the second person to arrive came by the southern door. That's why the first person fled from the room, using an escape route that was accessible only to them. So Cosmos, very well, let's hear more about this theory. Who is this one person who could have escaped from the boarding lounge? Cosmos. Look at all these beautiful people.
Take that!
What? But that's... Mr. Wright, what are you claiming here? Of all the people who were at the scene, only the witness could have escaped. The director is the only one with the authority to open the control room door after all. But that means... He's the third person. Exactly, the true identity of the third person is our current witness. Director Yuri Cosmos. Ah! And I bet you he has a license to a gun. What? What even? Athena's shocked. Holy shit. Order in the court, I say. Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself in more detail. I assert that Director Cosmos arrived at the scene before Detective Arm and entered the boarding lounge alone. Detective Arm arrived after that and saw a suspicious figure who was actually Director Cosmos standing in the lounge. And that's why she fired those 2 warning shots. I've been hit on the starboard side. Captain Wright, it's a direct hit on the enemy ship, sir. A magnificent shot. Warning shots far from the enemy ship. Prepare to intercept. This is new. Cosmos, you have told a lie in this court once again. Blackwell does not like lies in court. I've been hit on the port side. The enemy has called in reinforcements. Earth to Cosmos Control Center requested permission to ask that you return to reality. But my ship would not go down to anything less than the ultimate weapon of evidence. Judge, stop this nonsense. Yes, objection. But I do have evidence. In fact, you could say that your battleship bears its scar. If Director Cosmos is the third person Aura Blackwell saw, this third person fired at Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun, and in return the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos? It looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. The mystery person fired upon us. Director Cosmos must have been the one who fired the .10 caliber gun. When Detective Arm discovered him in the lounge, it only makes sense that he would have turned and shot at her. Therefore, the evidence on the director's body is of a different kind of relevance than before. Once we compare it against another piece of evidence, the mark that you receive from the third party will be all the proof we need to prove that you were the one there in the lounge. Which one is that? Is it this one? No, this is from the oxygen tank. So it'd be... Yeah? I'm trying to figure out. Comparison against this piece of evidence will prove that you were the one in the lounge. Can we see that? I presume it's this bullet. It's either the bullet or the oxygen tank. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, this one.
Take that!
No? But it's a bullet hole. Isn't that the point? I need to use a bullet, don't I? Why can't we compare it to a bullet hole?
Take that!
Okay, because I was on the right path. The .38 caliber bullet found on the floor at the scene didn't hit the oxygen tank. It hit Director Cosmos's medal. If we have that ricochet mark on the medal analyzed, I'm sure the caliber will match it. And if that mark proves to be from a .38 caliber bullet, it will prove that you are the third person we've been looking for. Ah! The bridge is destroyed, losing altitude. All hands abandon ship. If that's true, then what about the bullet that hit the oxygen tank? That's what I was thinking. It was the .10 caliber bullet. In other words, it was the bullet fired by Yuri Cosmos. Isn't that right, Director? No, you've got it all wrong. You're right. This is gonna go into history. What, the engines have started again? It's a miracle. I'm not going down yet. Witness, stop this at once and confess the truth. If you don't want the history books to say that a great man was a great liar, then accept your fate and tell the truth. Are you giving me orders? Me, the great director of the Cosmos Space Center? I can imagine he's just an awful boss. But the cosmos revolves around me. God, he really is a narcissist. And I hate your scooter. I hate those scooters. They look like the kind of scooters that would run over your feet. Ah, someone get me off this thing. And no one knows what to do. It's like, oh my God. Order in the court. Oh, will someone please stop the witness from spinning? Thank goodness we were able to stop him from spinning off the face of the earth. While he was twirling, I took the liberty of running an analysis on the mark on the medal. How did he manage to do that while he was spinning? But no matter. It was made by a .38 caliber bullet, matching it with the size of Detective Arm's firearm. Ah! Are you ready to confess the truth, witness? No! You've got it all wrong! This is just a misunderstanding! Is he going to start piling on more lies? It looks like it. But no matter how many lies he tells, I'll just expose them one by one until we run out of evidence. Great Phoenix, I'll make that big liar tell the truth. It's going to be a long day. Oh! That was... Why is there a break? Is it going to be so long? Oh, we'll overwrite. Okay, we'll go to the next chapter. I feel like this is going to be a long one, so put on your seatbelts. Director Cosmos, a new possibility has been presented by the defense. They are claiming that you were this third person. Ah, forgive me, I'm so sorry. So the great pioneer of space development is revealed to be just another fabulous cur. I only have one question for the likes of you. Shall I send you off quickly or very quickly? Ah! Someone stop him spinning. The evidence doesn't lie, Director Cosmos, so don't try to talk your way out of this. But fine, I'll tell the truth. It's all just as you say, Mr. Wright. It is true that I was there in the boarding lounge. I got there before Detective Arm, and when she arrived, she fired warning shots at me. I was afraid people would mistake me for the killer, so I escaped to the control room. There we go. I then went past the elevators and all the way around to boarding lounge 1 again. I came up behind Detective Arm and pretended to be the second on the scene. Oh, what a troublesome old man you are, with such convoluted deeds and thoughts. I see. So then, are you still insisting that you did not kill the victim? Of course I am! When I arrived at the lounge alone, I saw the true killer. The great Yuri Cosmos was a history-making witness. Okay. Now hold on just one moment. We just proved a few minutes ago that the third person that Mr. Starbuck and Mr. Ulrich Blackwell saw was you. But this figure didn't have a gun, that's the thing. Ulrich said that he was holding a lighter on one hand and a knife on the other, and the knife killed Clay. No, it wasn't me. I saw the person as well. If I were the killer, why would I lie to cover for Starbuck? I would just leave him to take the fall. That is an excellent point. All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person. Well, it makes some sense if he told those lies to cover for Mr. Starbuck. Still, a lie's a lie, Athena. So Director Cosmos claims he's not the culprit, but where's the proof? Ah, I just remembered. I have an alibi. Miss Blackwell said that she saw the killer at 10 a.m., correct? Yes, and... Well, I was on the 4th floor helping with the evacuation effort. Ask any member of the staff you like. They'll corroborate me. The director is not fibbing to the court for once. I confirm that he has an alibi for the time specified. So, you're claiming that Miss Blackwell saw the killer commit the crime first at 10 a.m. and that you arrived at the lounge after that? Yes, and I believe the person I saw is the same person that Miss Blackwell saw, although it was pitch black, so it was more of a shadowy figure and less of a person. And I couldn't actually see their face, but it was definitely the silhouette of an earthling. As long as he has an alibi, we can't very well claim a Director Cosmos was the killer. No, we can't. But I feel like we're getting somewhere. No, we can't. Then again, maybe we don't need to yet. I wonder if he was really covering for Mr. Starbuck. Your Honor, the defense moves to have the director testify about the person he saw. Very well. Director Cosmos, your testimony, please. What I really witnessed. Okay. As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside fired a gun at me. Wait, what? I hid to avoid getting shot. But when I tried to get another look, they have vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator side door and, well, the launch pad 1 door. And the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer. So you were shot at by the killer as well? And then they disappeared? Yes, though luckily no harm came to my glorious body. Okay, I will believe he has a glorious body. I do like the look of him. Unfortunately, the bullet hit Terran's oxygen tank. That we can testify. I know because I heard a pang. That must have been the sound of the tank being ruptured. Wait, but I thought the bullet hit his medal. That was Detective Arm's bullet, remember? Right. What a mess this is turning into. So the 10.10 caliber bullet hit the tank. So let's see. Director Cosmos is claiming that when he found Mr. Terran and his killer, the culprit shot a .10 caliber bullet at him. Right, but it actually hit Mr. Terran's oxygen tank and ruptured it. And then the killer disappeared and the director went into the boarding lounge. When Detective Arm caught up and fired those warning shots at him, judging by his medal, it looks like one of them almost took him out too. Good summary, but that doesn't explain where our mystery killer went. If he went at all. He could be hiding in this very same room. Director Cosmos, I was wondering if you could elaborate on when the figure disappeared. I'm ashamed to admit I tried to hide myself when I was shot at, but when I peeped back into the lounge, the real killer was gone. I rushed into the lounge straight away to investigate. But what I found was Terran with a knife in his chest and Starbuck out cold on the floor. So we have a culprit who vanished from a scene that had no escape route. Vanished without a trace. It's truly like one of the great mysteries of the cosmos.
Silence.
A riddle of the ages indeed. But I'd rather know how a fibbing leech such as you can be lauded as great. A great man is always misunderstood in his own time, but he must remain true to himself, even if those around him don't understand. Wow, that might be the first true statement he said all day. Yeah. But how do you suppose this person managed to vanish so suddenly? Simple. Because it was Space Boy himself. When he was spotted by the director and Aura, he quickly feigned unconsciousness. He's still going on about that? That would certainly take all the mystery out of the idea of a vanishing culprit. See, I don't believe it. It was dark, so you wouldn't be able to see him being unconscious. And also, was the figure wearing a suit? I want to raise an objection, but I don't have any counter evidence. Director Cosmos, when you saw this person, did you also see Mr. Starbuck on the floor? No, because it was as dark as a black hole in there. I didn't see Starbuck until the other person vanished and I entered the room. That wasn't exactly helpful. No, it wasn't. It would have been useful if we had saw Starbuck, but we don't because it was too dark. I'm prepared to accept your surrender, right, Dono? I can't find any holes in this testimony, but I can't give up. Mr. Wright, why did you let me help? Huh? While the director was giving his testimony, I detected a cacophony of discord. Cacophony, am I pronouncing that right? Which means he's hiding his true feelings from us, huh? This just might help us find out what happened to our vanished killer. That'd be great, Athena. Let's see what you can do with him. I love this bit. You got it, boss. I wouldn't want to miss this chance to delve into a great mind. You alright, Cosmos? Prepare to hand over the secrets of your heart to me. I bet you people would have no idea what she's going on about. But here we go. As I try to enter the lounge. So this is the launch pad and this is the control panel. The true killer inside fired a gun at me. This makes sense. You know, he's surprised, he's scared, and he's angry. Yeah, that's fair. I'm here to avoid getting shot. But when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. That's weird. He's holding no emotion. Oh, it's near the elevator side door. And, well, the launch pad 1 door and the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer. Why did he seem sad at the launch pad 1 door? That's interesting. Talk about mixed feelings. He must be trying to account for a number of contradictions. Mr. Wright, maybe this time we shouldn't just look for contradictory emotions. We should also look for emotions that should be there, but aren't. Ah, I guess it shouldn't be a surprise that his mind is a convoluted place too. He must have felt very shaken and distressed at the time. Let's focus on the fluctuations in his emotions and see what we can uncover. That makes sense. This makes sense. This makes sense. Another look. They had vanished into thin air. I feel like he should have an emotion of surprise.
Got it!
Yeah, he should have been surprised. You must have thought it was very strange that the killer vanished into thin air. I did. That kind of thing just doesn't happen usually. And yet, at that time, you barely registered any shock at the occurrence. What? Why are you... I can only think of one reason as to why you weren't surprised by the killer's vanishing act. You must have had a good idea of where they went. Isn't that right? What? No, of course not. That's preposterous. Only I can enter the control room. We didn't say the control room. Only you can enter the control room, and the area beyond the launch pad door was filled with smoke, making it impassable. And as for the southern door, I was standing right there, so there was no way for the killer to run to. Maybe, or maybe not, you went into the room to check on Mr. Starbuck or Mr. Taran, yes? What if the culprit took that opportunity to silently slip out through the southern door? I highly doubt it, as you recall, right after I entered the lounge. Detective Arm came rushing towards it herself via the southern hallway. Anyone tried to escape through there would have been caught by her. And yet the director wasn't surprised the killer vanished. Excuse me. So you're absolutely sure there was no escape route for the culprit to use? I'm telling you, they're hiding. They're hiding. It's working, boss. One more punch and it'll be a knockout. There seems to be one more emotion that's at odds with his testimony. Go get him. Yes, he seemed to feel sad or scared about the Launchpad 1. Okay, back in the Matrix it is. Time to pinpoint our way to victory. That's fine. Okay, we kind of need that. Over the side door. We're pinpointing this. Why is he sad about that? That's what I want to know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to be afraid of the launchpad door. Did the great Yuri Cosmos afraid? And what basis do you have for that outlandish accusation? You tell me. Whether I have any basis or not, you seem quite distressed by it. I most certainly am not. Director Cosmos, there's something about the launchpad door you're not telling us, isn't there? We're getting somewhere. Wow, he's speechless. It looks like you hit the nail on the head, boss. I'll just input those 2 pieces of data and... Yes, just what I wanted to see. Presto changeo. Let's discord. It looks like we're on the right track. Thanks, Athena. Now to make sense of what we've learned. What is at the launch pad? The only thing we know is smoke. Director Cosmos wasn't surprised that the culprit suddenly vanished from the lounge, which points to the possibility that he knew where the killer had escaped to. Furthermore, talking about the door to the launch pad made him uneasy. So he reckons that this killer escaped to the launch pad. In other words, he's probably hiding something about the launch pad 1 door. When we put these 2 pieces together, only one solution to this puzzle comes to mind. That's where the killer escaped to. Director Cosmos, did the real killer escape through here?
Take that!
The culprit went through the launch pad 1 door to escape, didn't they? Yes. I mean, no! Disaster to starboard! We're going to crash into an asteroid! Master tactician, you are not. But the area beyond that door was filled with smoke, wasn't it? True. This is still the only logical answer there is. Did they have gas masks? I got no idea. If we could just figure out what the director is hiding about the launch pad 1 door, we should be able to iron out the logical inconsistencies. Oh, but that door requires fingerprint recognition. Only Starbuck, Taran and I have access. I don't see how the killer could have opened that security lock, do you? That's an easy one. The killer was right there in the boarding lounge, meaning there's a way he could have easily gotten past that security lock. Use either Starbuck or Terran's fingerprints. Come to think of it, we did examine the prints on the fingerprint recognition device. I propose that the killer used this person's fingerprints to get past the security lock. Oh, is it this one? I try to remember. I know we saw the fingerprints, but I can't remember who. It's either Starbuck or Taran. It must be Taran, because if it's Starbuck, then it would just go back to Starbucks being a killer. But it's not. I think they used Taran.
Take that!
I try to remember. Ah. I'm so stupid. But I thought the stuff. Ah. So it was Starbucks fingerprints. But surely that would go back to him being a murderer, right?
Take that!
That's... Mr. Starbuck was lying unconscious there in the boarding lounge. Anybody could have easily gotten past the security lock by using Mr. Starbucks' prints. And actually, Mr. Starbucks' prints are exactly what we found on the device's screen. Ah! It looks like he does have something to hide about the Launchpad 1 door. And I'm betting it's got something to do with the culprit's escape route. But I don't have enough information to see the whole picture yet. You know, something just occurred to me. Would you like to hear it? Yeah? I always like Judge's things, because it makes us think. Oh yes, by all means. There's a security camera in boarding lounge 1. Right? The one that recorded the victim and the defendant. What about it, Your Honor? If the true culprit escaped into the Launchpad 1 corridor, then that might be recorded on the security footage as well. Yes, Judge! Then the mystery would be solved. What do you think of my logic? I love it! I love it! You too? You got something to say? That's terrific. That's brilliant. I hope you didn't strain your faculties too much for that, Your Boldness. I beg your pardon? Look, if we play the security footage beyond this point... Oh my, the footage cuts off! The camera was running on backup power, but apparently the power cables were damaged. Most likely by the after effects of the explosion. There is no footage after this, be it of criminals or space aliens. Huh, that's unfortunate. Because that would have been so good. And I thought it was such a good idea too. No, it was a good idea. It's just... It's very unfortunate. Just because your grandchild is watching from the gallery, it doesn't mean you should try to show off too much. Grandpa Boldness. Look, he tried, okay? But he's right. There was a security footage, but the cables were damaged because of the explosions, which is unfortunate. Otherwise, the case would have been solved and we would find the third culprit. Prosecutor Blackwell, how did you know about my grandchild? I think his grandchild just learned a little about the harshness of the adult world. Setting aside the issue of grandchildren, I'd like to have the witness continue. Director Cosmos, could you tell us more about when you entered the lounge? Is he still dizzy? If I must. Avoid getting shot. So, okay, he was sad now. After the killer vanished, I went into the lounge. But that's when Detective Arm appeared from the elevator side door. And then the detective shot at me. So you see, the killer could have only escaped to the launch pad, right? What do you think about Director Cosmos's emotional responses, Athena? Yeah, actually, my cat is really sick, you know? What? Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. And on top of that, my dog just doesn't seem to want to play with me. Okay, Athena / Misty, what? Why are you telling me all this now? Just humor me, okay? Now, when you heard about my cat, and then about my dog, which story made you feel sadder? Well, the cat, because it was sick. The story about your cat, of course. It's only natural. Exactly. That would be the natural reaction. But there's nothing natural about the director's reactions. I think how each individual reaction changes across the whole testimony will be the key. I think how each individual reaction changes across the whole testimony will be the key. Sounds unnaturally complicated, but that somehow doesn't surprise me. I had to avoid getting shot. He was scared. After the killer vanished, I went into the lounge. I can imagine he was still... Okay. He was surprised to see Detective Arm. I think it's... Yeah, I know which one it is now. It's a whole, my cat is sick and my dog doesn't want to play with me sort of reaction. So it's only natural to react to the most serious one before the other sad news. That is not as sad, not as serious. But he's somehow still sad when he went in after he got shot. But I just assume it's because he still fears the killer. When we view your emotions alongside your testimony, we find... Oh, wait. Wait a minute. This really isn't anything strange here. I don't know, but I think maybe we made a mistake, Mr. Wright. Is it this one? Oh, fuck. It must be surprised to see... would you be surprised to see Detective Arm? No. No, he would have been surprised to see... Let's try Detective Arm. Because I thought Detective Arm would be around. Wait, he was happy? No. No, 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 no. What has happened? I think I made a humongous mistake there. Unless it's this one. No, I know it's not that one. It was most likely he would fear, but so he's surprised to see Detective. He was surprised to see the detective. What? Director Cosmos, why were you so surprised when Detective Arm found you, and again when she fired? Isn't that a bit unnatural? Sadly, even great men such as myself have ordinary human feelings. Our bodies are bound by the forces of gravity and emotions. Why? Even a great man such as myself experiences surprise on occasion. Oh, sorry, my leg is itchy. Yes, I'm sure you do. But my real point is not the fact that you were surprised, but rather what you were surprised by. Pardon me? First, you were surprised when Detective Arm found you in the lounge. And just after that, you were of course again surprised when she shot at you. But considering what you were surprised about, a strange phenomenon occurs here. Director Cosmos, what is strange about your surprise reaction is the fact that you were... more surprised when Arm came? No, he was surprised twice. No, he was more surprised when Arm came. Right? Sure, you were surprised when Detective Arm shot at you. But the surprise you felt when she found you in the lounge was much greater. Why? The fact that you were more surprised by simply being found than by being shot at suggests to me that you were conflicted about whatever it was you were doing there. That is true. I would be more surprised by being shot. The enemy has acquired a new weapon. Commence Operation Hide Under Your Desk. Ah! I mean, that's not really hiding under your desk. You should probably tell that to the judge. He's very good at that. Okay, we're doing good. We're doing good. It's rocky, but we're doing good. Boss, I'm getting less Discord now. That must mean he really is hiding something about that launch pad door. And whatever he's hiding most likely has something to do with the killer's escape. I wonder what it could be. If he was doing something suspicious around that door, maybe we could spot some change between before he came to the room and after. Detective Fulbright gave us a photo taken after the crime. Let's run a comparison. Let's see. This is footage of the door before Director Cosmos arrived. And this is how the door looked after the director entered the lounge. Hey, look at that. There is a change. Something's definitely different. Director Cosmos. What is it? What have you two been up to over there? Finding the answer to what you were doing when Detective Arm found you, that's what. And that answer lies clearly in this footage. All we have to do... Hey Sarah, how you doing? And happy birthday! Are you doing anything good for your birthday? Very exciting. All we have to do is compare it to the photo that was taken during the investigation. Don't be ridiculous. If you really do have an answer, you'd have pointed it out already. Well, it's the door. He's asking for it. This is what changed directly after the incident. The door is open. But I just assume it's because they just walked in. Ooh, lasagnas. And lasagna is the best. I haven't had lasagna for a very, very long time.
Take that!
I really should. I want to see if there's a recipe for lasagna. So it's not the door. What's changed then? Yeah, we've lost, but that's okay. We can replay. I do love a good lasagna. I want to make a lasagna. But lasagna is always so hard to make. It requires a lot of sheets. Oh dear, Starbuck is guilty. Oh my god. I haven't seen Starbuck in this stream. Which I haven't seen yet. Can I see? So if it's not the door... Oh, bollocks. Oh! It's this! Oh, something's opened. This was open. The answer is this knob. This knob. Sorry, I'm a child. Nah, that's... Your Honor, please take a look at this footage. Let's see. Take a look at the knob next to the launch pad door. As you can see, it's horizontal. Yes, it is, isn't it? However, when we investigated the scene of the crime yesterday, the knob was vertical. Goddamn knobs. Those knobs always vertical. Those vertical knobs. And what does that mean? Yeah, it's... I presume one means locked and the other means unlocked. It means that sometime between before the director arrived and after, someone turned this knob. Ah! But what does it mean? After the scene was discovered, you were the only one who could have turned the knob. The word knob is just so funny to me. For people who do not understand, knob is a British term for dick. But it can also mean a doorknob. It's just like, Director Cosmos is fiddling around with some knobs. Come on now, Director Cosmos, let's hear what you have to say. Oh, well, we call, if someone's like a dickhead, we call them a knobhead. What were you trying to do by turning that knob by the door? Ah, fine, I admit it. You're right, I did turn that knob. Knobhead. That knob is a safety lock meant to keep the launch pad in place. I was afraid there would be more explosions. So I wanted to move the launch pad away. So at some point it was unlocked then. You wanted to do what? Hey, didn't Ponko tell us something about how they prepare for launch? She said that once the launch pad's fully assembled, which one was Ponko? It's moved to the launch site. But the safety lock in the boarding lounge has to be disengaged first. That's the safety lock. I guess that clears up what that knob is for. Oh, so if the killer escaped into the launch pad 1 corridor, maybe they were transported along with the launch pad to the launch site? I don't think so. The launch pad 1 corridor was filled with smoke. I don't think they could have escaped through that corridor. So then, where did the killer escape to? Indeed. I guess there are still some things we have to uncover. Director Cosmos, I request that you tell us about moving the launch pad in more detail, because we haven't investigated the control panel. Fine, but listen carefully, for I'm about to give a history-making testimony. You claim that you will, but whatever. Oh, more of this! I love this! I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock, but you're happy about it. Okay, Cosmos, whatever. Whatever. I feared there might be more explosions. Okay, no, I believe that. You're fearing. That's fine. That's good. So I had to cut the launch pads loose. Good. Surely the only escape the killer had was through launch pad 1. Don't know why he's just angry. But that area was a sea of smoke, but no emotion. Confound it! Where on earth could they have gone? This is all confusing. The director seems driven into a corner now. I can tell he's having a hard time hiding his true feelings. Just one final push then. His attempts to conceal the truth shouldn't be all that hard for us to break through. If we keep at it calmly, I'm sure we'll cross the finish line. I have no choice but to disengage the safety lock. Why are you so happy about it? That's weird. Why is he happy about it? That's what I want to know. I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. You make it sound like you were reluctant to do so. And yet, when you did it, you felt some joy as if you were very pleased with yourself. Yes, we're going to disengage the launch pad while everyone's life is in danger. Let's go! How do you do it? How do you know everything as if you were there? It's a job. Pretty impressive, isn't it? This is the power of analytical psychology. So, care to explain why you felt joy when you disengaged the safety lock? When I think back on the facts we've discovered up to this point, I have to believe that you were trying to fulfill some hidden agenda. I mean, that sounds very on brand with Cosmos. Ah, do you know about that too? Oh, you think you're so slick with your stash. Because I'm more or less a pro at guessing. Yeah? Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. He's good at guessing. But you have no proof that I had a hidden agenda. And even if I did, I would never ever tell you. So there, that's okay. We just have this little digit we do that shows us your emotions. And then we make an educated guess. So there! Which is what we've been doing this entire time. I know they say people regress as they grow older, but you, sir, take the cake. And how could you doubt a man with such great intensity, intelligence, and integrity?
Silence.
Silence. You, a man of integrity? Don't make me laugh. Oh, Black Quill. Black Quill has the tea. What do you have, a Black Quill? The tea that I definitely don't want to drink, but he has the tea. But Prosecutor Black Quill, what came over him all of a sudden? You spouted nothing but falsity since you stepped up to the stand. You're not the kind of man that will be glorified in the annals of history. Not for greatness, anyway. Unless you consider greatest barefaced liar an honor. I mean, you're talking to your sister's boss, Black Quill. I mean, you have been lying. He's not wrong. What the fuck are you on about? His words bite harder than his blade. You moved Launchpad 1 after the explosions. My, how naive you are. You fail to realize how even the facts themselves have betrayed you. You know, just a thought, but modern English can be your friend. And here's a thought for you. Immediately following the bombing, Launchpad 1 was on the boarding lounge 1 side. The police confirmed this on scene. What? Liar! So that means the director didn't move the launch pad? So why did he unlock it then? That makes it even more suspicious. Curse my judgment for calling history's greatest liar to the witness stand. Let's leave him to indulge in his lies and war games to his heart's content. Liar!
Objection!
Is he just gonna shout that? But it doesn't make sense. You can't deny that someone turned that knob. And once the safety lock was released, I'm sure the pad must have went somewhere. If we chase down the truth of this issue, we just might find where the killer escaped to. He could have gone out and then come back. Could he do that? You're sure it must have went somewhere? We just might find out. Your arguments are nothing but conjecture, bluffing, and wishful thinking. Stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is. Or are you not man enough to, boy? Oh, I kind of got you there. Talk about hitting below the belt. Well, Athena is having a great time. Youngins these days. I don't understand it. I'm sure Director Cosmos must have moved the launch pad. The knob was definitely turned after he came to the lounge. But the launch pad is right where it's supposed to be. Wait a minute, maybe I have it all backwards. What if the director turned the knob not to move the launch pad away, but to bring it back to where it was supposed to be? What are you blathering about? Actually, yeah, what are you blathering about? What if the launch pad was at the launch site before the incident? Oh, now I'm so confused. And then after the incident, Director Cosmos moved it back to its usual spot. All he had to do was turn the knob to call the launch pad back. And it would be right where the police found it. Well, Blackquill doesn't like that. Because Starbucks and Clay were found on the boarding lounge. So that doesn't make sense. It went from the launch pad to the boarding lounge. You made him sound like Mr. Starbucks. That's why we know that Starbucks isn't around much, because of all we don't hear is sighing. Was what I said really that off base? Yes. It pains me to have to explain how wrong your own logic is to you. However, and I didn't say that. That was all Phoenix Wright. A great liar turned the knob only after he discovered the crime scene. Indeed, the pad existed before the lounge when our Astro Wonders made their escape. The fact that has been recorded for posterity on filmless film. Yeah, Phoenix. So to reiterate, stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is, boy. Aren't we the same age? Get a grip, Mr. Wright, and focus. We know the launch pad must have been moved. I want to know what his age is. He's 28! I'm older than you, Simon! Are we gonna get testimony? Witness testimonies from the fucking robots at some point? I feel like we will. I feel like we're gonna have to give testimonies. Not give testimonies, but cross-examine the robots. Get a grip, Mr. Wright, and focus. We know the launch pad must have been moved. But our dedications and the actual facts of the case are in direct contradiction to each other. Or maybe the two astronauts never actually boarded the rocket. This footage could be fake, taken with body doubles after the incident or something. I think that now you're just stretching it. On second thought, that's too far-fetched, even for me. Yes, Athena. Never actually boarded the rocket? Oh my god, that would explain the ladder situation. Hey, wait a minute. Maybe, just maybe. Huh? Prosecutor Blackquill, what if I told you that the two astronauts never set foot inside the launch pad area, but instead went into another place? And what if when the director moved launch pad 1 back, it was not from the launch site, but from another place? What would you say then? Cut the existential bull and I'll cut you. Or I'll cut you. Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself at once. I know I'm right. It was all the other way round from the beginning. Very well, Your Honor. Let me explain. Director Cosmos' reason for moving Launchpad 1 was... well, not to hide it. To switch it with another place. I don't think he knows who the true killer is. Oh, to trap the true killer. No. No, he knew. Oh my god, yeah. Because he wanted to trap the true killer. I don't know. No, there was an explosion. The corridor between the launch pad and the lounge was thick with smoke. If the killer had been trapped in there, they would have been found as dead as their victim. No, you're right. Why do I get a penalty? Okay, so it must be the second one. So it must be this one. Surely. Because why would you hide it? Because you wanted to switch it with some other place. I'm sorry, but did you say switch it? But what could he possibly have switched the launch pad with? Oh, you'd be surprised, Your Honor. All it takes is a little thinking outside the box, and the answer becomes clear as day. This is what was switched with the launch pad. Launch pad what? The Space Museum! Don't tell me it's the fucking Space Museum.
Take that!
Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum? In the past, the Space Museum used to be Launchpad 2. It has all the same features as Launchpad 1 and can even be moved to the launch site, meaning the Space Museum and Launchpad 1 can also be switched with each other. You can't mean... The rocket the astronauts boarded was not the one in Launchpad 1. Oh my god! It was the one in the Space Museum! What, the one with the jellyfish aliens? That's hilarious. What? Balderdash! Even Black Quill is like shocked. I'm shocked. It's like, how did they not realize this? And yet, it's the only explanation that accounts for every riddle and inconsistency. This is how the Space Center was just before the incident. As the Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum have already switched places. That's right. And with the two switched like this, the astronauts entered the Space Museum from boarding lounge 1. This allowed the true killer to enter Launchpad 1 from boarding lounge 2 and set the bomb on the rocket. Come to think of it, the door to the Space Museum from boarding lounge 2. Welcome. That's Podco, right. The Space Museum is open to the public every day of the year from 9 AM to 7 PM. Exactly. Anyone could pass through the door to the Space Museum. There is no fingerprint recognition system on that door. Why do you need to... Oh, because it used to be Launchpad 2, so you would... Oh my god. But you think they would fix this? In other words, if the two launch pads switched like that, someone other than Mr. Starbuck could have easily planted that bomb. After setting the bomb on the rocket, the culprit snuck into boarding lounge 1 and waited there concealed in order to kill Mr. Terran when the two astronauts emerged from the Space Museum. Recall that Miss Black Quill, Mr. Starbuck, and the director all saw a suspicious figure, who we can suppose after killing Mr. Terran, made their escape into the Space Museum. After that, Director Cosmos switched the two launch pads back, without realizing the killer was inside the Space Museum. So the killer was just having a way of attack. So the killer was lucky at this point. And so the killer just fucking ran off. The killer then left the Space Museum and made a clean getaway. Ah! I don't know. I see you know how to handle a sword and handle it well. Did we just get a praise from Black Quill? Are we serious right now? Perhaps I should call you Swordmaster Bluff. I'm a seasoned warrior who has cut down many a prostitute. Yeah, I remember that girl with the whip. But unless you can prove your theory, it's no better than a rusty sword. Well, even rust can kill. Black Quill. Shall we test it out? Can I test it out on you? That's right, you have no proof I switched the launch pads. Somebody needs a better anger management counselor. launch pads really were switched, there might be a record of it somewhere. At this point, Launch Pad 1 and the Space Museum were switched with each other. So the corridor beyond the door should be the one that belongs to the Space Museum. Yeah. Let's see, this is an image of the Launch Pad 1 corridor. Yes. Do you see anything different when we compare it to the security footage? Huh? That number on the floor. Oh! Well, what do you know? Looks like we have proof after all, Prosecutor Black Quill. Oh, he's not that. I guess this is just another bluff. Oh, don't worry. It's all right here. So that's the number 2. Right in this footage. Proof that beyond this door is the corridor to the Space Museum. Very well then. Answer this for me if you would. Because the museum used to be Launch Pad 2. What in this footage proves that the corridor belongs to the Space Museum? Alright. To number 2 we go.
Take that!
There's a 1 on the floor of the Launch Pad 1 corridor. But take a look at the floor on the corridor in this security footage. Do you see the number on the floor behind the astronauts? It doesn't look like 1, does it? That's because what you see is actually part of a 2. What? Why is it a 2 and not a 1? That's because the corridor you see is the one to the Space Museum. Ah! I wonder what Starbucks would say about this. And so that means the corridor in this footage was not filled with smoke. That's right, because the explosion didn't occur in the Space Museum. The explosion occurred in Launch Pad 1, on the side opposite the Space Museum. And now that we know the 2 astronauts escaped from the Space Museum, the mystery from the previous trial of how they got down the ladder is cleared up. Mr. Turan, carrying Mr. Starbuck, simply took the elevator from the upper level down to the middle level. Just incredible. The 2 launch pads were actually switched. But you'd think someone would have noticed an event of this magnitude. Everyone was down in the basement shelter when the launch pads were swapped back. I forgot about this. They got evacuated. Even Cosmos says so himself. He was helping the evacuation. There's no way anyone could have known what was happening on the surface. We've done it! Nice! Oh, there's the museum! That's the one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Widget. No more lies, Director Cosmos. It's high time you told us the truth. Ah! My honor, my glory, everything is... Oh, geez, slipping away. Galactic engine ignition. What? It's gone haywire. It's not that big of a deal. Oh, God, he's shooting stars. Look at him go. My stars, my glory, go. No, not... Bye. Bailiff, on your steed and after that witness. Fucking hell. Oh, he looks kind of dejected. Look at him. Look at him. I see we managed to retrieve you before you came to any bodily harm. Director Cosmos, do you admit you switched the launch pads? I admit it's true. I switched launch pad 1 for the Space Museum. Oh, it's good to hear words I can believe for a change. Before you do, Your Honor, 2 things. First, we don't know if Mr. Turan had prior knowledge of the switch. As for Mr. Starbuck, he was unaware of his surroundings thanks to his medication. Either way, Mr. Taran would have realized the instant he stepped into the Space Museum that it had been switched with Launchpad 1. I mean, it would be obvious. So my first question is, if the Space Museum was perfectly fine, why did Mr. Taran feel the need to put on such a dramatic display? As for my second question, he's got a point. They were all wearing... So Taran must have been self-aware that he was into a space museum. So he did not need a helmet on. He didn't need an oxygen tank. He didn't need to wear a big, heavy 200-pound suit. So what happened there? I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the 2 launch pads to begin with. That's a very good point. Please, I can't. I exercise my right to remain silent. Well, we're not gonna let that happen. But I will say, my hands were tied. I was only doing what I could to keep my men from getting caught in that blast. So you knew the blast was gonna happen? The director is terrified. He must have one heck of a reason for not wanting to explain why. Probably not a good time to try to pry it out of him, huh? He does look dejected. Excuse me, but would you mind if I picked up my stars? Without my badge of rank, I'm nothing. Oh, I feel bad for the dude. I don't see why not. Bailiff, help the director retrieve his stars. Oh, it appears the possibility of a culprit other than the defendant has presented itself. Mr. Starbuck, is there anything you wish to say? You're still wearing your goddamn suit. I don't get it. Don't get it? What don't you get? Director, why did you do all that? From the very beginning, you never meant for the launch to go ahead, did you? You tricked us, Mr. Starbuck. Starbuck, my boy, I'm sorry. I can't tell you the reason why. I feel like that will all come later. But I had to do it to protect the Space Center. Director! Will I ever get the chance to go into space again? Look at that. Everyone looks so happy and full of life. And now they're just, they're all bloody miserable. Oh, we got someone who is, you know, being framed. The other is just a bitch. The other is just a bitch who abuses robots. The other is dead. The other is a goddamn fraud. And one we haven't met yet. But we're glad to know that she's got a Cinnabon on her head. Yes, of course, I won't rest until it happens. I will get you into space again, my boy. Then the dream is still alive. I mean, you're kind of behind bars. What's he got to say now? You're not going into space, Starbuck, but prison. I won't have it any other way. Why? Why are you so hung up on him? What did Starbuck do to him? Yes, I accept that the launch pads really were switched. I bet he fooled around with his sister. No, I bet Starbuck fooled around with Black Quill's sister. That's what I meant. And if there were a third person at the scene, I suppose they could have escaped. But I have yet to see proof of this third person's escape by the Space Museum. Oh, that's a good point. Unfortunately, yeah, that's a good point. I don't like it when he's right. I don't have any proof. That's why we need to do an investigation. Starbuck, you will spill everything you know. What? Me? Ah! Where did you get those bombs? Tell me now. If you don't, my blade shall feast on your blood. I wonder if we're going to get evidence from the trial. Ah, if I'm going to die, I want to die in space. Do you? Don't you have a phobia of space? I have to do something. Solomon Starbuck. Prepare yourself. Black Quill has a thing against Starbuck. Ah! Now you know violence isn't the answer, Prosecutor Black Quill. Fool! Is it Buster? That annoyingly cheerful laugh. It can be none other than... I call him Buster, but I don't think that's his name. But Fulbright! I called him Buster. Fucking hell. Champion of Righteousness, Bobby Fulbright here at Justice We Trust. Yes, Fulbright! Detective Fulbright? Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Lawyer. I hope I'm not too late. I still think he reminds me of Rick Mills' character from Jonathan Creek. He makes me want to watch Jonathan Creek. If you haven't watched Jonathan Creek, it's about a magician who investigates murders. Helps the police investigate murders. It's a British sitcom involving Alan Davis and Rick Mell. So sometimes in these episodes, not every episode, but sometimes, and his character in Jonathan Creek reminds me so much of Fulbright. Definitely in the early series. God, I want to watch it now. Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Lawyer. I hope I'm not too late. Not at all. I don't believe we had an appointment. Fulbright. I used to hate Fulbright. I thought he was an absolute arse, but now I love him. I tried to hurry, but I ended up helping a little old lady cross the street. And then I had to break up a cat fight. I tell you, justice sure is a full-time job. Absolute Fulbright. Was it a fight between cats or... Why are you here again? Because the defendant isn't the culprit, and I came to make sure that justice is served. I don't have any idea what you're talking about. He's saying he says the things he thinks the defendant is innocent. We gotta hear him out. Also, he electrocuted Black Quill. That is. He's all right in my books, all Fulbright. Justice. In justice we trust. I always thought you were a bit touched in the head, but have you finally succumbed? Nope. It looks like you've succumbed to this phantom of yours. Open your eyes and let the evidence of justice uncloud your judgment. What evidence? Come to think of it, he did say something about finding us some evidence. Thanks, you two. I feel a lot better now that I've been able to get that off my chest. Oh yeah, we helped him last time. I'm going to work extra hard to find that perfect piece of evidence for you. I didn't think he was serious though. Fulbright! So what is it, detective? Is it something that will prove Mr. Starbuck innocent? It is indeed. Have a look at this. The lighter! Oh, that's what I was thinking. I've been thinking that lighter has been in my nightmares. It's been in my dreams ever since Aura said, oh, this guy had a lighter with an earth on it and it light up the light. And it's like, well, we need the lighter. The lighter is an answer to everything. But Fulbright has done it. Done it. What's this? A lighter? That's right. A lighter thought to have been used by the culprit, no less. The Space Museum's cleaning robot picked it up. It has the victim Clay Terrance's blood, along with his killer's fingerprints on it. What? Guy! Yes, let's go. Let's go. Oh my god, it's going to be Starbucks. Fingerprints, isn't it? But it's fine. We're just gonna... We're just gonna have to use this moment to appreciate Fulbright. Detective Fulbright, can I assume that the fingerprints don't belong to the defendant? Yes! Mr. Starbuck is totally innocent. This is it. This is just what I need. Whose fingerprints is it? In the victim's blood. Whose is it? Your Honor, this is decisive evidence that supports the defense's earlier claim. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Yes, sir. With pleasure, Your Honor. Recall where this lighter was found. based on that, we can extrapolate that after the killer murdered Mr. Turan, they escaped with the lighter in hand into the Space Museum, where they dropped it. The switching of the two launch pads occurred. And we know the robot is in the Space Museum because we met it there. Then finally, the killer left through boarding lounge 2 and made their escape. Meanwhile, Mr. Starbuck was found in boarding lounge 1 after the murder. A fact that Director Cosmos has testified to. Therefore, Mr. Starbuck couldn't have possibly been the one to drop the lighter there. Oh, stop poking your eye, it's annoying. I hope you go blind. Ah, but the defendant had free reign of the area until Director Cosmos appeared. He really does not like Starbuck, does he? But then again, I don't like Starbucks either. The coffee shop, not the dude. I don't know much about the dude to make a judgment. All I know is that he has a rocket hair and it's kind of annoying. Could he not have dropped the lighter in the Space Museum during that span of time? Objection! Objection! You'd like that to be true, wouldn't you? But Director Cosmos testified that right after he saw the mysterious figure with the lighter, he went into the lounge and found the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. In other words, Mr. Starbuck wouldn't have had the time to double back to the museum. I bet you Mr. Starbuck fooled around with Black Quill's sister, and that's why Black Quill is so adamant to put him in jail. That is my theory, at least. No, Prosecutor Blackwell, this lighter could only have been dropped by the real killer. Oh, he does not like that, does he? He doesn't like that at all. Most importantly, Mr. Starbuck's fingerprints were nowhere to be found on this lighter. I think you understand what this means, don't you? It means you're wrong! This piece of evidence unequivocally proves that Mr. Starbuck wasn't the culprit. Ah! This does indeed appear to be decisive evidence that proves the defense's claims. As for the remote switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, we can assume it was planted by the killer on the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. Oh, there must be some mistake. Why are you so adamant to put Mr. Starbuck behind bars? It doesn't make any sense. This is personal. This is super duper personal. Frankly, He's not a professor. Frankly, Mr. Prosecutor Blackwell, I've been worried about you. You've been chasing this phantom for 7 whole years. I understand your urgency because tomorrow...
Silence!
Oh my god. Fool Bright. You promised never to speak of that. Huh? Tomorrow? What about tomorrow? What about tomorrow? Given the body of evidence, I think it's safe to say the defendant is innocent. Don't tell me he's... Don't tell me he's going to get executed. Is he going to get the injection? In light of the... Judge, I see what it did there. In light of the fact that it was impossible for him to have committed the crime. A few unanswered questions remain, so I look forward to seeing what you two uncover. But for now, this court finds the defendant, Solomon Starbuck, not guilty! Woo! Wait. Are we done? Yes, we did it, Mr. Wright. Looks like we pulled it off somehow, huh? Yeah. With some help from Detective Fulbright. You saved us, Mr. Wright. Miss Sykes, thank you. And please thank Apollo for me too. But we don't know who the real killer is. You all are the best. It's that cinnamon bun girl, isn't it? Ooh, I wish we could tell Apollo about Mr. Starbucks' verdict right now. Yeah, me too. But that's going to have to wait. Now that the verdict has been reached, I'd like to bring today's trial to a close. Court is adjourned. Why did I need a break?
Objection!
Ah. You can't object. It's too late to object, isn't it? Yeah. It simply isn't possible. Something's wrong. Prosecutor Blackwell, are you dissatisfied with the verdict? Fulbright, what were the results of the fingerprint analysis for the lighter? Huh? The results? Yeah, actually, that's a good point. What are the results? Well, I was in a hurry, you see. And then there was that cat fight. And, well, Fulbright! I kind of got carried away when I heard the prince word to Mr. Starbucks, so... You have yet to read it? Prosecutor Blackwell, can you read out who the prince belonged to? Let's hear it. Upon thorough analysis, the fingerprints were found to belong to Athena Sykes. Huh? So says the report. What? What? Huh? Me? Wait, what? Athena? Or do I say order? Miss Sykes, tell me you have an explanation for this. We just finished proving that this lighter could only belong to the killer. So finding your prints on it can only lead us to one grave conclusion. I don't know how they got on there, but I know I'm not the culprit. This can't be happening. We built up our argument piece by piece, and I don't think any of our reasoning was faulty. So how could it have led to this? Yeah, Athena? Athena was such a fan. Athena was a fan of the museum. She goes there quite a lot. Even the robots notice she's there. But I don't... But it's weird that she's there around that time. That's weird. Grr! Well, what have I done? Please forgive me. I'm sorry. It's not your fault, but it's weird. Order! Order! Detective Fulbright, stop your crying. What in the world is happening here? It's like the world's gone mad. It's gone mad a little bit. Order! Order! I will have order! Stop it! Everyone! It's fine! Confusion spiraled into utter chaos. After all, we fought for. The truth had turned cruelly on us to accuse Athena of the crimes. Somewhere, somehow, everything had gone terribly wrong. We had stumbled over the edge of reason and into the jaws of a twisted darkness. Shit, that was it? That was the end of the case? What? No, we return to the games menu. That was the most unsatisfied case ever. What? I am so confused. So... Well, we're gonna leave it there, I suppose. This case spans 2 episodes. Yeah, so Solomon, also, hi Astro Dude. Welcome to the stream. I'm sorry, you just came as I'm about to end, really. I think this is a good end to the stream. So, at least Starbucks is not guilty. That's good. God damn, Fulbright. I I was fully on your side. And then Athena's fingerprints found on the lighter. And I was like, oh my god, that's the lighter. Ah, but we're going to have to leave it here. Oh my god. That is insane. That's insane. Yeah, I'll leave it here. But that was so fun. Unsatisfying. Because it spans 2 episodes. But fun. Ooh, this is starting to get interesting. Yeah, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you ever so much for joining me in my stream. It's a pleasure to have you guys here. If you want to watch the previous streams of Ace Attorney, as well as the other streams of games that I've been doing for the past, I don't know, months now, yeah, do check them out. It's in the pinned comment in Twitch. Yes, it will all be archived onto YouTube. Yes, I'm going to leave it here. Tomorrow it's going to be Baldur's Gate 3 because we haven't played Baldur's Gate 3 in a while. And we are, did we just hit Act 2? We've just hit Act 2. So yeah, we're going to play a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 tomorrow. Very exciting. No, not tomorrow. Sorry, not tomorrow. I'm not doing anything tomorrow. I keep thinking today is Thursday because I normally stream Ace Attorney on Thursday, but it's not. It's Wednesday today. I'm going to be streaming... Yeah, I'm going to be streaming Baldur's Gate 3 on a Friday. So yeah, so if you're interested, do come by and say hi. I greatly appreciate you, lovelies. But if you want to, do subscribe on YouTube. It is up on the pinned comment for you, lovelies. Let me just see who is up and about to raid. And I can see who is here to raid, lovelies. Shao Stalker, who is trying out a demo of the last gas station. I don't know anything about that. That sounds super duper interesting. There's a lot of demos going about. So very intriguing indeed. Sorry, you're hearing an echo. Stop that. But yes, I will send you over to Shao Stalker. Do give her all the love in the world. She is my friend, an amazing streamer, absolutely lovely, plays all sorts of games, particularly survival horror games. So if you're interested in all of that, do give her all the love in the world, lovelies. But yes, do take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day and tomorrow. And hopefully I shall see you guys very soon. Do take care. Bye-bye.